on Sotfik, and there are more problems here for Astralis, but Spirit needs to plant the bomb. That's a great Molotov from Device. The bomb is in the site, however, and Spirit have a molly of their own, but now they need to cross, and they've got no smoke grenade. This is a very strong position. They're going to run boosters to get the bomb down. So important. Does he go for the push? It is a gamble. He takes it. How does he get away with that? Navcos now won't get a frag. Turns into a bait setup, and I think this is opportunity lost for Team Spirit, but this was an eco round, and they've still done damage. He's got to hold it. Executed in Cole's blood.
Yeah. But you have to credit Device massively then, knowing that just having the presence of mind, just understanding the time. If you get that kill, even if he dies, he has, who was it, Glaive behind him, whoever it was, sort of with that orb trained on the doors, and they got across. So even if he dies, as long as he kills the bomber, it's still like a very good situation for his teammate in a 1v2. So really nicely done. Astralis are finding, I mean, obviously there's some things that are going wrong, but Astralis are correcting really well, and they're punishing hard any little mistake Team Spirit are making. As now we'll see them go back for that A long take. They're very quick here, and they're looking to catch. Oh, that's a very fast one from Sundai Young with the last bullet of the spray. Does find the kill into Zipex, forcing Astralis quickly onto that A position, and Dupree, immediate response from B. He'll be going for the fast flank. Will Team Spirit expect this?
Well, Sotfik's looking for something really smart from him, and that is such an important information find for Team Spirit. But what is their response with the remainder of the 4 players? In many Dust 2s of late, we have seen a T side take long, and then they spend a lot of time just in that long area. I'm not sure if they're waiting for a re-peak or something, but this is a common occurrence what we're seeing at the moment. Astralis still waiting. Dupree falling back to the B-bomb site, and who knows if they will be slowed down by Dupree's push. Glaive making life more difficult for Team Spirit. Seems like they're running towards the Gatling gun now. Sundayung and Coldy towards the car position. The trade is there from Davkos, but 3 on 3, 40 seconds left. I don't know if Glaive's still playing closely. That's a very big prime. There's a gap for him to play with. Team Spirit ever so slowly, and Dupree is still towards the B-bomb site. So it's a 3 versus 2 here on A.
That's a brilliant incendiary from Glaive. That's going to slow them down even more, and time is a really big problem. 20 seconds, they have to get the bomb down. Magis will finally peek from the boxes. Glaive is supposed to go in. Oh, almost finds himself too, but he doesn't manage to close it off. Now down to Dupree, and the bomb has to go down, and it will.
Bomb has been planted.
Dupree does scope, and that's surely heard. Smoke down. He's going to have to land something incredible to make this one a reality. And appears to be the jump shot, but he will be fragged by Sundai Young, as now the first round for Team Spirit is claimed. Well done to them in this round. A very fast long push was successful. Astralis' money is not actually amazing. They've taken quite a few hits in this game so far.
That was very laborious for Team Spirit, but indeed Astralis are able to buy again. It will be the one sniper rifle for the team, however. Zipex will be on the UMP. Down in mid, so Team Spirit don't have the information towards the B-bomb side. The CTs can look over that smoke of a sniper towards the short area as well. Look at this charge from Team Spirit. It can be very common for a CT team to leave mid empty at the beginning of the round, but Device is still ready. They'll leave it empty, but they know what's empty and what is possible. Astralis is by the doors, and he can't get anything done. 3 versus 5 now. The bomb was moving into the B-bomb site for a split, but Sundayung's trying to get something done towards A. He will hear the rotation, a full rotation from Astralis, feeling that Spirit have no options. But Sundayung, what does he do? Does he jump down? Glaive goes back towards the A site in the meantime. Team Spirit falling back. There is the pick, but it's a long rotation. The bomb's been lost now in the B tunnel in the meantime. The deep smoke from Cold is to try and rescue the bomb. And the CTs have done a deep smoke of their own, so now the bomb is just surrounded by smoke. Cody has to pick some good timing, because surely some more spray is going to come in. Can he get around the corner silently? Yes, he can. Now the smokes will go, and he may or may not have come up on the radar there. If he hasn't, I wonder. Wow, that's a big spray from Sundai Young, and Vice is already going to be careful about this repeat, but he will not fear. Astralis now with limited information. They've got no one on the A side to tag, but it's Sundai Young with the frag, and Cody's on the rotation.
Yeah, great effort from Sundai Young through the doors. Almost one more, perhaps. He is on 12 HP. This is not a favourable situation, to say the least. But that bomb will make its way for the full rotation, and there's no orb in the hands of these CTs, so if he tries to jump across crossover, that could be quite effective. If something young really tries to just run distraction, and it actually seems to work. There is a lot of space here for Coldy. No one looking on the cross. I think he spots some legs, knowing that that's likely the most far forward player that he has to worry about. Coldy on for the 1 versus 2 clutch. This would be quite something here from Spirit. Can Coldy make this one happen? I think he spotted Dupree. Looks like he is aware. But where is the next player? Dupree is just going to try to keep his attention. And in comes Magisk up from short, looking for the frag. And now Coldy has full information of these two players. He can isolate them in 1v1s. There is a chance for him here as he looks for these headshots, but they are making it very difficult on Astralis, and Dupree finally takes the decision to go for the peak, and he makes it work.
Still early in this game of Dust 2, and these are really tight rounds we're seeing from both teams so far. But it's Astralis who will reset Team Spirit. The bomb plant will help, but let's see what Spirit choose to do. That was a great effort though from Sundaya.
Full buy into short rush. IMHO, James. They know the economy really bad for Astralis.
I thought you said IMHO, and I thought, like, what?
In my humble opinion.
Is that some kind of rap song? Doesn't look like it will be a full buy. The odd pistol being purchased by Team Spirit, keeping the money for the big guns. It is a tactical timeout from Team Spirit at the moment, but as you can see, it is about to elapse.
It's one of those rounds where, you know, your opponent's economy is weak, and so of course, you know, as you say, like, it doesn't seem evident that they'll go for that, but it can be a strong play because the utility can really serve to overwhelm a team that might be playing passively or might not expect a really fast burst somewhere, and it's that kind of play at this point that could get you back into it. And it's also a play where getting a bomb plant is not out of the question as well, which is a very great consolation. But they do opt, as you mentioned, to play very conservatively. Missing some HUD here, but looks very pretty at least. Like we're in a frag movie, James. A really bad frag movie.
Why is it bad? These are good. This is a major. It's got to be a good one.
Well, you know, I mean, it's just like there's nothing happening, so frag movies are frags.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, you do need frags for a frag movie. Bear that in mind if you're a budding video editor. Frag movies require frags. Team Spirit looking to play the numbers game once again. Magisk is the only person towards the B bomb site, so there's a reasonable chance that the bomb plant could happen. Nice from Coldy with the P250. Get that bomb down, Team Spirit. You need that money. Sotfig in the Biaps, taking an age-old position. Glaive will come in from his 6, Dupree and Zipex outside the B bomb site. Device looking for a flank, but this is an eco round. However, you never quite know what's going on. I think Sotfix may have been heard jumping off the box. In the meantime, Astralis need to get into this site. They have one flashbang, and that's on Device. He's going through the double doors. It's a great shot from him. There's a flank eliminated, and Holding left 2 HP. Now 0 HP. Just the one frag for Team Spirit, but at this point, I think the bomb plant is more important. But I guess they come together as well. You're not going to plant unless you frag, so all good in the hood.
Yeah, I think that worked out very, very well. And they'll have enough in this round to scrape together whatever they want, and they'll get the AWP onto Dav Cost. The A-long pushes have been a really good opener for them, so maybe we'll see that again. Perhaps Astralis will be better adjusted to it by now. We'll have to see if it's even an option taken by Spirit. But no, I like this. Very fast timing. You get an AWP to cover you as they are perhaps anticipating that there's 4 players set up on A-long. This is a very punishable by Team Spirit if they keep the pace quick on the short position. But they will slow things down. So maybe missing a window of timing. And this is a very strong defense here for Astralis on the A side of the map. Match is being chased down. He's putting his gun out. Advantage, and the trades are favorable for Team Spirit.
Yeah, the positioning is strong, but Team Spirit basically was short and long, and they continue to trade. 3 versus 1. 1 minute 20 on the clock, and they've got basically all the map control they need. Dav Costo is alone with the bomb on long. Does he run up towards the A site? If he drops it, it's a problem. But it is a 3 versus 1, and they have time on their side, so it could be worse. And there we go. Device will not last very long. Team Spirit just got so much real estate, even though the numbers were there for Astralis. They had more players towards long than they did on short, I think, Team Spirit, and it works out for them. The trades were on point, and that is going to put Astralis into a bad situation. 3 of the 5 players over $4,000, but Magic's and Device cannot buy at all. Tactical timeout now from Astralis to figure out what they should do. They still have a 5-round advantage. The score is currently 7-2 in favour of Astralis on the CT side, if you are audio only. If you're listening in a kitchen while you're doing something.
Yeah, you don't know anything about kitchens, do you, James? That was, you walked yourself into a, into a corner there.
Turning a tap on and off.
Yeah, filling the kettle. Making preparations for a nice cup of tea.
Yes. Loose tea, of course. Some lapsang pouchong.
3 explosive grenades for Astralis. Most grenades tend to be explosive in one manner or another. And Navgost gets a tag. Doesn't take too much damage for it. I think that will be good results. Team Spirit, they've really wrecked the economy of Astralis. This is just a standing testament to the fact that they've been able to do good damage in a lot of the rounds despite having this scoreline of 2-7. This should be 3-7 at the end of this. Astralis will try to be a nuisance.
One thing I don't know that I've seen in a pro match just yet is the gap in the wall on the CT side of double doors. There is a hole in the wall. Okay, that should not have happened.
That should be a kill for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think 19 times out of 20, Glaive gets the trade frag there. And again, you see how wide Zipex goes to draw the fire away. So worst case scenario, they trade the frag. I think they both had CZs. They have to get a kill there. I mean, they're probably not going to win the round, but that is a very rare occurrence. But through these doors, just to the left of where Davcost is looking, there is a corner wall, which has a gap like this, but the other side, which gives you a reasonable amount of cover if somebody's moving up short. Makes it harder for them to frag you. But you don't really see it used in the pro matches. It can be a funky angle to use every now and then in a round such as this. Perhaps with a deagle. Anyway, Team Spirit looking good, and there's a fair chance that they will all survive. There's not much value necessarily in in hunting, excuse me. Too much. Cody's doing it from range, which is fine. The priest being spotted. So, Som Young loses $4,000. And an AK is collected, so that's the kind of point I'm alluding to. Dupree was carrying 5, and now he's carrying 3 grand. Once a bomb goes off, he can go towards the A site.
He's been spotted as well. Oh, well, he's 5. Oh, no!
Oh, wow, Dima with the MVP play from the car position. So you're going back towards the side, obviously the T's aren't going to be there, but outstayed his welcome by half a second or so. Well then, Astralis bringing out the big guns once again, double AWPs, Dupree and Device. Glaive once more is on a UMP.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the approach changes from T-Spirit. Davcost has a great spawn here with the AWP onto A-Long. This could be strong. Oh, just misses the timing on the first player crossing. He must surely have seen him. And that's information if nothing else. However, this is a pretty standard setup from Astralis. 1-1-3, and they start rotating players after you are safe from initial rush times. That said, Astralis do keep 2 banana. Oh my god, that was over his shoulder. That's a close one from Dupree.
They have that angle on point.
Yeah.
It's the alternative angle to catch people coming out of lower tunnel, or people who are top mid. We reached the 1 minute mark. They haven't really secured long or short, Team Spirit. They have intentions towards the bomb site. Sophic has just sat on a grenade. He's leading with the bomb, which we dropped on the floor. That can sometimes be heard from the CT spawn position. I don't think Zipex was close enough at the time. Now Dima's having a look. 2 smokes through the mid position around CT spawn, so Astralis trying to figure out what exactly is going on. Look at the position Cody's got into.
Device. No idea. By Zipex. Some good damage though, but now Device has to deal with the loss. Does do some great work, in fact, puts the team in a good spot. Not really got anywhere to go. Nice little headshot on the way out, but the round is won by Astralis. Don't know if they can rebuy that second up. Okay, Glaive has time to pick it up. That's good for Astralis.
That would be an interesting round to look back at on a demo, because there's a lot going on across the map at the same time. There was the mid to B smoke, but there was also a smoke on the other corner, which presumably was to obscure vision of players from B, seeing Coldie move into CT spawn in the smoke. Then Zipex had a guy on either side of him, managed to take one out. And then there's a smoke on long, which normally obscures CT sniper's position from car looking towards shorts. But Device managed to use that to pretty much stop the T's from moving onto the site and shut down the round for Team Spirit. So yeah, there was a hell of a lot going on. It's nice to see what the intentions of both teams were and how things played out and how people adjusted and so on.
Yep, it's looking pretty solid for Astralis at the moment. I have to say though, I think, you know, if you win that CT pistol and, you know, this is a scoreline that's very replicable for Team Spirit on that CT side, as long as it doesn't get too much worse, I think they can get, you know, towards 5 or so, they'd be fairly comfortable. The thing is that Dust 2 can be so momentum based because of the economy game, and it can be difficult if they lose the pistol. It's just so hard to clamber the money back. But that's a problem for the future. The problem for now is this double up setup from, again, just playing it really passively. They're giving up middle. Right now, you know, if Team Spirit were to go for a B split, that would be quite strong, given the positions of Astralis, quite committed on the A site. But they're going for A. Astralis must be loving this. Basically a double. Gets damage onto Coldie through some of the young as he gets the frag onto him. That's a big play from Device. And now, what do you do, Team Spirit?
Does Coldie pick up the AWP from Davcost because he is so low? That is a question to be answered. At the moment, the answer is no. Davcost is far behind his team with the bomb, moving up the short position to catch up with them. 40 seconds remain. It will be a push of only the one prong. Could make it 2 if they put somebody back in the CT spawn area to come up the ramp. Molotovs towards the site. Glaive is here for support. Zipex on the low ground, looking away in case of a flashbang, looking towards mid in case of a flame. And again, it just like so edgy, so slow towards the site itself. They're sitting ducks to players such as Device. The site seems nowhere near the site at all.
Yeah, I really would have loved to have seen a B split on that round. Again, they don't have all the information that we do. There are ways to get the information, but they went for that A play again. I don't know that we've really seen too much in the way B splits, actually.
No, I mean, we've seen a mid to B smoke, but it was a play towards putting a T in that CT spawn area. So that one doesn't quite work out for Team Spirit. And it's late, but for those of you in GoTV, again, it's an Astralis game, so I recommend watching Zipex for the entire match, because I think he is the best player for people at home to learn from. Again, another example, going back to that situation on shorts, where he swings wide, so worst scenario, Glaive can trade the frag. He gives his teammate space to have a 2 versus 1. I think a lot of people, by default, will just see someone, stop moving, try and shoot them, die, block their teammate from peeking with them. He sees a pace, he swings wide, draws the fire away, so on and so forth. It's a small thing. One of hundreds of things that can be learned from watching players such as him. Pistols again for Team Spirit. 3 rounds from 12 so far. Zipex in a position to hear these footsteps communicating to his team, and that will have Dupree looking towards next one. Covering the high ground. Zipex is there for the low, as is Dupree. The bomb wants to move it to... Oh, that is a meaty grenade from Magis. They're boosting over the smoke, but only with a pistol. Remember, Existence used to be keen on boosting over that smoke. Maybe we'll see some of that later on in this tournament.
Well, they're just running all over the place and slowly but surely being picked apart limb by limb. Sort of the most, it's pretty grotesque imagery, I suppose. Grotesque. Alright, Team Spirit. Let's get it over with. Missed quite a few shots this round. He'll be punished for that. Zipex will clean it all up and save the AWP. He'll rescue it. 10-3. Team Spirit. They seem stuck in the mud at the moment. Let's see a B split. Even if they just do it blind at this point, it would just be nice to see one properly executed B split on the buy round. It's very strong unless the CTs have players on short or have very strong presence in CT.
The scout for the last round, less than ideal for Davkos. And again, with that smoke to allow the CT to cross, you can see over it, but if there was a fast play into mid, you would be in trouble. So sometimes you see some rifle support for a sniper who's looking through mid.
Astralis looking for that B split actually. If you look at the setup now, this is much, you actually would want to do an A first against this. So, Astralis adapting. But I don't know that Team Spirit even know what they're up to just yet.
I wonder if Zipex and Sundiang were looking at the radar as that smoke started to dissipate, because I think you can often see people come up on the radar before you can actually see them in front of you as the smoke starts to disappear. A random exchange, if you will. Astralis just waiting. There's a mid to B smoke. Zipex is in position. The box is to his right. He can jump on himself and look over it. There he goes. They've got a second window for the higher ground. Now comes Zipex. His break transfer will be good.
Wow.
And players left. Device is going to take his teammates out, but they still have the numbers advantage.
What was that, James? Zipex kills everyone. It's a good few seconds. No one there. And then Device just executes him. Brilliant. Will that be a chance? Everyone will be eliminated for Team Spirit. And one thing to mention as to when I'm saying this round would be good for a B split or an A split, one thing that's fairly easy in the default setups from the CTs, where Zipex is he in CT spawn or is he around graffiti? That's like those are the two positions. If he's on graffiti, it's very easy to defend that A split. For the CTs, if he's in CT instead, he can lend a great assistance, as we just saw against the B split in that previous round. So it's all about rotation times for that floating player.
Floater. Like a poo which just won't flush, he's a floater.
Thanks, James. Definitely needed the extra imagery.
Hey, don't talk to me about imagery, the things you've been saying. With your limbs. More flashbangs. Astralis moving closer to the doors. Got a CT watching both sides. I do wonder if Zipex was in that position I was talking about earlier, or if he was just standing around, who knows. Glaive now, a short push, sees the bomb. Will he stand his ground though? They are getting picked off, Dan. Back to your limb analogy. Now it's Sundiang alone. The last leg on the spider. Rolling around on the floor. There's the thing. This is not the greatest way to finish off a half.
No, they ran out of steam pretty quickly. I think there was quite a lot of promise, but it seems as though... wow! The MVP is gifted. But yeah, it's one of those things where it seems like they were struggling to find ways to build T rounds. There's a lot of considerations. Taking A long aggressively, they had that. That's not too complicated to do, but it's strong, and they felt as though the time for that was over after the first few successes there. But they also didn't show that they knew how to play out of it particularly well. There was a lot of plays where we saw, let's say we take A long, and now we're just going to raw peek and AWP instead of setting up the push correctly to finish off the round. Or for example, if you want to go for a B split, you got to clear short. You got to make it really feel like you're going to do an A split. That forces Zipex. It would be away from CT spawn into that graffiti position. Then you hit that B split when the rotations for the TTs are very bad. There's lots of these kinds of basics we were not really seeing. Clearing close mid. There's lots of stuff like that. So we'll see if Astralis can show us a better school. To kick things off, they'll be charging in 2 tunnels.
Davkos is waiting for them. Almost similar in some ways to Digital Sundiang on a short position, but he can't have a teammate because he's behind the smoke. Sodvik was in pre-fire behind the doors, but again, Astralis trying to abuse the numbers game, but Dima is cutting those numbers down. Sophic still moving. Sumdayung and Sophic towards the A site. They are out of position as the T start to push in. Sophic now near that car area, trying to slow them down, but he can't frag them. 1 versus 3 for Dima.
1 versus 3 indeed. First. No. It's there for Magisk. That's not bode well. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
It's not bode well at all for Team Spirit. Now all Astralis had to do is finish off the job.
That was a big look for that. You see on the replay there, first player jumps around the corner, again, effectively works in the play. The flying player draws the fire away, so that was a nice two-man check by Astralis. Attention to detail is what Astralis are showing us.
Yeah.
Round after round.
It's a good understanding of timings.
They did say in the interview, some of the hardest working players in the game. Sophic manages to avoid the flames coming out of a smoke backwards. I'm impressed. Colour me impressed. Taken out by the car. Davkos taken out by the Goose. Canada Goose, if you're wondering.
To go for the free passage of the bomb. But the bomb would rather result. 14-3. Astralis look guaranteed for this one, very convincing so far. T-Spirit have not shown the requisite kind of team decision making, as it were, calling and so on and so forth to really give Astralis problems. Again, I can't really overstate it. Astralis and their understanding of Dust 2 is immense. They've always been right at the top of the game with regards to that, so it takes a lot to beat them on this.
I never even noticed that rail. But why not elevate your position? I learned a lot watching Guardian on Dust 2 on the T side, for example, on the short position. He would often stand on the box to elevate his position when he would peek the A site. So if somebody was there, he was going to get shot, he's probably going to get shot in the leg rather than him. Similar approach from on the rails there. In it's anti-eco, Coldy is last man to win, straight HP, last man to fall. Match point Astralis.
Yep, straightforward stuff. Open and closed case. T-Spirit won't even have... Oh, they do have enough for an AWP, my mistake. So they have enough to have an AWP on the CT round. Not two though, as you'd often want to have. As we saw, Astralis was running on their CT setups most of the time, when they could. Now, Device going forwards here. Very fast timing, running down a suicide through to short. Device can get a really fast pick towards goal. Once that happens, life is pretty impossible here. Device already now in a very deep position. They won't expect the timing. Hasn't seen Zen, in fact. He does have an AWP, so he's in Gandalf now as his teammates will start to pinch on Davkos. And the bomb can be collected, and they can just start pressuring, say, bomb site. Device trying to slow them down. Davkos could do some work here.
He needs to. He must. Okay, there's a trade from Device. Magic's boy bringing the bomb through the long position as Glaive is on short. They have a smoke grenade on Glaive. He will need to drop that for the cross. There are flashes as well. Device got to be careful. There's a flash behind the smoke. Looking for the push. And that will be that. Astralis all over this game of Dust 2. Team Spirit could only make 3 rounds happen, and that was that.
Yeah, unfortunately, on their T side, they had a lot of opportunities. T side, I think, is really where you want to start in a matchup like this, where you're the underdog. But you have to demonstrate a better understanding overall of Dust 2, and I think that it just wasn't enough. We saw a lot of great punishes from Astralis, where maybe an opportunity was being created, but you need to have that just extra flash here, the extra smoke there, some extra, peaks in the right way there. And if you don't have them,